What's up, y'all? So I'm gonna do this video right quick and try to show y'all some things that I think you should plant in the fall. Look at him. Don't creep into my videos. Can y'all see Chrissy up under my truck? Can you see his feet? You probably can't see his feet. He under there asleep. What, baby? Okay, say hello. Okay. What else? Yeah, I'm gonna get you lunch. Just let me finish. There ain't gonna be but a few minutes. I'm gonna get you lunch. Lord have mercy. Look, I said lunch. Look at him bromancing. Okay. Lord, y'all. The conversations that come down the street. See, y'all don't be hearing all this like how I be hearing it. Anyway, let me show you. Try to show y'all. Okay, now let me say this here. This is going to vary. If you live in a colder climate, it's going to be some things that may vary for you. Also, your growing season may be longer, shorter, depending on, where you're at, what's going on. So keep that in mind. So I want to show you this. I transplanted all of these. I believe these are Egyptian walking onions, but if they're not, they may just be regular green onions like scallion. I transplanted all of these, and they all took. They're looking good. I want to impress upon you that right now, if you haven't planted your garlic, your onions, do that now. Unless you get hard freezes, onions should make it through the cold, garlic as well. We got down to 4 here one year, and the onions and garlic was the only thing that I really did not cover. The Russian kale as well. I did not cover. It was fine. It had no issues. You may lose the tops, but you usually won't lose the roots. Another thing I want to impress upon you to maybe plant is some winter squashes. So right here what you see is cushaw. You may can get away with some summer squashes. I don't know. I've never tried that. Somebody tried and let me know how it worked. Or if somebody has planted summer squashes in the fall, let me know how it worked out for you, because I've never done it. Summer squashes have burned me so bad till, y'all know my little story with that. But now that I got my tool, I'm willing to try it if somebody said it'll work out all right. They grow so fast, you may be able to do it if you start them at the very end of the summer, and you may get you some harvest. But y'all look here. Y'all see that? That's gonna open up tomorrow. But look on down the row. Look at there. There's a female. There's a female. There's a female. So it's gonna try to do a little something. So y'all, and this, I did not plant this in the fall. This was already here, but the heat and stuff kind of killed it out, and then it came back and started flourishing for me. These cushaws and things grow so fast. Plant them, and they should do okay. My ground cherries hadn't done this well this year because the drought, the heat, everything. Nothing in my tomatoes did well. But I want to encourage you to plant you some fall tomatoes if you have enough time. If you live in 8A, 8B, 9A, 9B, 10, plant you some tomatoes. Because if the temperatures get to dropping, and then they'll start setting or whatever. Like I said, while it's warmer, plant them right at the end of the summer. They'll have time enough to get big enough, and right as they start blooming, your temperature should have fallen off enough to where your blooms will set. You should be able to keep enough water on them. It should be raining enough to where you can, because now my tomatoes are really starting to step into their own. They're starting to actually do something. The one thing somebody can tell me if they've tried it, but the way my peppers grow, I wouldn't suggest peppers, for the simple fact they will have the heat if you plant them at the end of the summer to germinate. I don't know if the plant's going to get big enough to make peppers. Peppers take a while to make for me. But maybe if you fertilize them extra hard, and you could get them to get big enough and big fast enough and have you some peppers. But the last thing you want to have happen is, for instance, you start having peppers like this here. And see, I'm in October, but my season can go to December. You don't want to start having all these peppers like this, and then it get cold on you, and you don't never really get a chance to get your peppers like how you want. So I wouldn't really recommend peppers, but if you did want to experiment with it, because I get it, I'm the queen of trying stuff just to see will it do right. Somebody can try it and tell me, but like I said, peppers ain't on my recommended list, but if you can get it to do it, tell me how you did it. Kales. This is Russian kale here. I've had this in the freezing temps and everything. I've had this kale for 7 years now, 7, 8 years. I've had it since I've been here. This is one of the first plants that was a bonnie start. It doesn't go to seed. All it does is branch off. If you get too foolish, I cut it and it'll branch off and come up again at the roots. The freeze has never killed this. The wind has killed it by snapping it. Not killed it, but like the wind will break it and it'll have to So I would say plant kales, definitely. Brakes? What kind of vehicle? I probably could get it done. Okay, I am back, child. Okay, back to what I was saying. Tomatoes, I think I covered. I would definitely plant fall tomatoes and fall ground cherries if you can. Now, let me say this about ground cherries. Be careful with these. It seems like they like the longer days in order to be sweeter. Now, I'm going to try these, but usually when it starts getting into the fall, these start tasting a little tart. Really, you're supposed to get them when they're on the ground, but here's a yellow one right here. But see how green it is? That one actually was okay. It tastes like a pineapple. But these really the ones you want. Let's see how that one was good too, even though it was green. So yeah, ground cherries may actually do okay if you plant them in the fall. I know last year, or maybe it's because my plant was so old and it was getting tired. Because last year my ground cherry put on, oh God, I think I ate thousands of these things. I mean, you can just look in there and see them all on there. So ground cherries are real productive as well. These things did not really get started good for me when it got to that heat and drought and all that. I had a problem out of them, so that's why I'm recommending you start them in the fall. I wouldn't necessarily recommend okra. Okra don't produce well in the cool weather. It don't do nothing. Let me tell you something I do recommend. Beans and peas of any kind. They grow so fast and they start putting on so fast. These have been out here maybe a week. You see they're flowering. It doesn't matter if it's bush bean, pole bean, cowpea, sugar snap pea. I recommend any bean, any pea, any of that in the fall because they're gonna grow so fast. They don't mind the cool temps. They're just making. And beans, you know what I'm saying? And you could have them, put them up for the winter, whether you freeze them, whether you blanch them, whether you can them. Beans. What I do not recommend, melons. I don't know of a melon that grows well in the cool. It likes the heat, and it needs the longer days for photosynthesis. I don't recommend growing any crisses in the fall either. But yeah, to me, melons, anything in the melons. No matter if it's watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydews. I mean, like I said, if you can do it or have done it, tell me, let me know. If you've gotten melons to do well in the fall. Now, I won't lie. People in Florida might can do it. You know, they don't even really get winter. They may can do it. People in Southern California may can do it too. I'm not necessarily talking about those climates. We'll get down when we start getting to the 40s and stuff. Those melons will start. I'm talking about 40s at night, and those melons will stop growing. Stop. They'll just kind of really just slow down and halt almost. I'm back over in here. Y'all look at all them peppers. Oh. Well, y'all, I'm holding it. Y'all can't see. Look at that. Look at how pretty. Look at this. You get that kind of white pepper with the stripe. Then you get your green one. Then you get your purple one. Get you another purple and a green. Boy, these fish peppers don't play no games. But anyway, let me see, kales, we covered that. Beans, carrots. Now okay. Let me say this about carrots. Can you grow carrots in the fall? Yes. You grow them all the way through winter. The cold won't really bother them. I've done it before, but what happens is when it gets cold, it's almost like that root up underground don't really want to grow. The only one I got to grow good carrots underground in the cold was the black nebulas. These are the black nebulas with the deep purple stems. Those I grew one winter, and come spring, I had the biggest carrots that I ever had. I've never gotten an orange carrot, yellow carrot, none of those. I've never grown red ones. I've never gotten a regular, quote unquote, carrot to grow well. But keep in mind, don't sleep on carrots, y'all. You can use these tops. That's in the parsley family. Use those tops like parsley. Garnish with them, dry them, eat them, put them in your pasta dishes, whatever. Use like parsley. So what I'm saying is, it's not always a loss. Just because you're not gonna get those roots right there, all through the winter, you could have your herb. Basically, you could have your substitute for parsley. You see what I'm saying? So do that. Same thing with those beans. Keep in mind that on the peas and the beans, you can eat those leaves. To me, they taste better when they're younger and more tender, but you can't eat those. Especially on those sugar snap peas, you can eat those sugar snap pea shoots and things. You can eat that stuff. So even if you don't get no peas, you're going to get some food out of it. Something I do not recommend, sweet potatoes. They ain't going to do nothing for you in the cold. Cancel it. They ain't gonna do nothing for you. They just like the heat, so don't even try it. You may can do Irish potatoes. Now, I have not been successful doing that, but once again, somebody should show me, tell me, y'all get in the comments and help these people, because the people read the comments. If you've done Irish potatoes in the cold months and you were successful, tell the people how and what you did. Something else you can grow. I know I said kales, but your brassicas. I'm going to tell you right now, your mustards and your turnips are going to do better in the cold because they won't bolt on you. Any little bit of heat will make them suckers bolt. But while it's nice and warm, now you get the seeds good and germinated. The roots will go ahead and get established and all that. And then once the cold snap hit, it'll put on all them good leaves and that turnip. And if you're growing turnips, the turnip root and all that. And those mustards taste so good to me when it's cold collars too. They're a little bit more sweeter. Who making all that noise like that? Making it? Is that Fee? Cause that ain't you. These cats make more noise. Anyway, but yeah, your collards, your turnips, your mustards, any of these brassicas, leafy greens, grow that so that you can have you some fresh leafy greens in the wintertime, if at all possible. And your collards will carry all through the year if you want. If you like me and you're in for a little bit of a fight, but yeah, that's something you can definitely grow. Let me see something else. Is it anything? Oh! I surely don't want to forget about this. Horseradish. Horseradish actually grows better. Horseradish, if I'm not mistaken, is in the mustard family. So horseradish, it grows much better in the cool. It actually don't like the hot. Every time in the heat, all the leaves come off and then it'll come back by the root. Goji berry. This is one goji berry that I have here, and I'm gonna try to get this sucker to kind of stand up some. Look at those beautiful purple flowers. Now I have not gotten this one to make any goji berries yet, but let me show y'all. Chris, you can get your steps in today, because you can follow me all over the garden. But let me show you this. Goji berry. It actually does better this time of year. It does better the fall and the spring. In the winter time, it does go dormant. But in the fall and the spring is when it really likes to grow, really likes to set fruit. I don't like them leaf-footed bugs. I hate them things. But look at all of the flowers. And then look at the goji berries. And it's very, very productive. You see all those green ones? All of those are going to turn red and be goji berries. These are ready. Just like this here. And if you don't know what a goji berry tastes like, I'm going to tell you. So this is in the nightshade family. Peppers and eggplants and tomatoes. So if you've had a dried goji berry, I'm I'm gonna tell you right now, they're mainly just tart. And I think that's why a lot of people just don't like them. I'm gonna tickle these blossoms while I talk. Cause I want this sucker to make some more. I had never had a goji berry, dried or otherwise, until I got this from Go Grow. So thank you again, Go Grow. So I keep telling y'all, build your network of people who you can get stuff from. But when you let these things get all the way ripe, like for instance, that isn't quite all the way ripe. You want to let it get as red as possible before it starts to shrivel. They will shrivel up and dry on you. When they shrivel up and dry on you, they're not bad, but they're not as good. They're sweet. They're sweet, but they have a little bit of a pepper, not spicy pepper, but almost like a green pepper. So they have a little bit of a, what in the wine industry they would call a vegetal taste behind them. That's the way it gave it away that it was in the pepper family for me. Because for me, this looks nothing like a pepper. Not really. The flowers look a little like a pepper, but the taste gave it away. Like for instance, when you get one at this stage, it's going to taste just like almost like a sweet pepper. That's what it's going to taste like. But if you let it get all the way ripe and let those sugars develop, it's a little bit more sweet. And on the back end, you get just a hint of a pepper taste. But those things are so healthy for you. You know, I'd come here and eat a few here and there, a few here and there. So I definitely would recommend growing those. They grow the fastest. They bloom the most. This is the time of year that they bloom. They'll bloom early in the spring as well when it's this time. Yeah, they'll do that. So, you know, I do recommend the goji berry. Definitely. Look at this. And I'm going to talk about this. This don't make no sense. Y'all see this? But I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I could tell y'all to put in your fall garden? I wouldn't necessarily recommend turmeric. Turmeric, I mean, you can put it in. It'll come up when it's hot. It'll come up when it's ready. Pomegranate. So even if you got pomegranate seeds or you got pomegranate plants, you can put those in. Pomegranates will do fine in the fall. Now, depending on how big it is, they ain't gonna make no fruit for you. But pomegranates, they will die back in the winter. But I've gotten a good amount of growth on mine since it's just kind of cooled off. And this is them here and here. I know you can't hardly tell. I got weeds and everything else in here, but pomegranates, as you can see. Remember when I told y'all this was a new growth? Look how big those leaves are. This is a whole new branch that is put on. So pomegranates, I would recommend that. If you have pomegranate seeds, you can start them. Get you some, and I got some baby pomegranates back there. My homegirl sent me some seeds from Arizona that I'm going to. They've germinated, so I'm gonna get them potted up into some little pots and prepare them to be able to overwinter them and protect them through the winter. Cause in them little pots, I'm gonna have to protect them. But pomegranates are pretty hardy plants. They do pretty good when it's cold. They are desert plants, so they can survive in the desert. If you didn't know, the desert does get cold at night because there is no trees, there is no stuff like that. So the desert gets very, very hot, but it loses its heat very fast. But yeah, I think I've covered the vast majority of stuff. So y'all get on it, and if I left off anything you think would be good in a fall garden, if you want to know or you're curious or whatever, leave it in the comments. And until then, see you guys later.